Welcome to Operations Management course. In this lecture, we will learn decision-making tools. In the first part of decision-making tools, we learned what max-max and max-min and Laplace values are. And in this lecture, we are going to jump into EMV and how to calculate EVPI, or in other words, expected value of perfect information. And that will be the topic of this lecture. What about EMV? EMV is defined as expected monetary value, and simply you are going to multiply the expected value or expected outcome multiplied by the probability of the situation, and that will produce expected monetary value. So for example, say favorable market is 60%, unfavorable market is 40%, then expected monetary value will be 0.6 times 200,000 plus 0.4 times negative $180,000. That will be this expected monetary value for alternative A1, constructing large plant. Similarly, you can do for alternative 2. So 0.6 times $100,000 plus 0.4 times negative $20,000. That will be EMV2 for alternative 2. And do nothing, it's 0 times 0.6, 0 times 0.4, so it should be 0. So then, amongst these three values, you want to choose the maximum, that is $52,000. So under rational view of expected monetary value, you want to choose the second alternative, constructing small plant, and that expected value is $52,000. Now we are getting at EVPI example. EVPI is expected value of perfect information, and it's defined as expected value with perfect information minus maximum expected monetary value. So don't get confused by EVWPI. EVWPI and EVPI are two different things, so I emphasize that you don't want to be confused. However, to derive EVPI, you have to first understand how to get EVWPI. EVWPI is the value with perfect information. Given that you have perfect information, what would you do in that situation? For example, you know with the probability of 0.6, the market is going to be a favorable market. Then what are you going to do? If you know that the market will turn out to be favorable, what are you going to do? You don't want to just do nothing, right? That's foolish, because you could have made $200,000 by constructing a large plant. So given that you know that favorable market will come true, then you are going to definitely invest your resources and choose this alternative option, A1, so that you can make about $200,000. Now, if you know that the market is going to be unfavorable, then definitely you are not going to do anything, because if you do anything, at least you will, incur some loss, $20,000 or $180,000. So if you know that, you are going to choose not to do anything in that case. So expected value with perfect information is going to be, given that favorable market will turn out, I'm going to choose alternative 1, so $200,000 times 0.6. That is EVWPI, the best choice that you can make. And plus, now if the market is going to be unfavorable, then I'm not going to do anything, and that percentage is 0.4. So therefore, the expected value with perfect information is $120,000. In other words, if you have perfect information about the market, that's the maximum money that you can expect from. If you found this $120,000, Then now the next thing that you want to do is to calculate maximum EMB. And we have already done that before. But if I just repeat, 0.6 times $200,000 plus zero point 0.4 times negative $180,000, that gives you $48,000 for alternative 1. That's your expected monetary value. And you can also do the same thing for alternative 2. So 0.6 times $100,000 plus 0.4 times negative $20,000, that produces $52,000. That's another EMB for alternative 2. And alternative 3 EMB will be 0 because the expected values are zeros. So maximum EMB is that amongst these three values, you want to choose the highest value, that's $52,000. So I found that EVPI is $120,000 and maximum EMB is $52,000. So you subtract that from $120,000 and you get EVPI, expected value of perfect information, and that is $68,000. So this is how you calculate and learn EVPI. And the thing is that EVPI there's no formula for that. You have to think of it and choose that value yourself. So that can be confusing. But once you understand what it means, it will not be confusing to you as much. The most company, so what does that mean by expected value of perfect information? That means that you have now $68,000 of the value you can invest in getting more information about the market. That's what it means. So if you have best information about $68,000, then you can increase the probability to earn more money. And this is like how much money are you willing to invest to do research and find out the market circumstances. Let us take another example before concluding this lecture. It's a similar example. Let us assume that you are facing three alternatives: small plant, medium plant, and large plant. And you have three possible future demand, again, low, moderate, and high options. Small plant, regardless of market situation, the outcome will be the same. Medium plant, if it is moderate and high, it's $12,000 of profit you will be able to gain. And large plant, if it turns out to be a very good demand, then you will make lots of money. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. So that's the situation. And as a person who is investing money, you want to evaluate all the alternatives and find out what alternatives that you want to use. So let's go for the max view first. If you are choosing max, $10,000, there's no variation, so you only have to choose $10,000 here. And then medium plant, 7,000, 12,000, 12,000. So your choice will be 12,000. And large plant, the max value is $16,000. And amongst 10,000, 12,000, and 16,000, 60,000 is the highest. So your choice on the max value is $16,000. Now, the max min value, you have to choose the minimums from the row, and $10,000 for small plant, and $7,000 for medium plant, and negative $4,000 for large plant. And you have to choose maximum of that, and you find that 10,000 is the largest. So under this conservative view, small plant is the way to go. Again, $10,000 here. Laplace is the average of these three values, and average of that is 10,000. And medium plant, 7,000, 12,000, 12,000. I think we have to calculate that. That's just 10,333. And then large plant, 6,000 plus 2,000 negative 4,000 and divided by, so 16,667. I think it should be 15,000 or 14,000. The calculation is not done right. However, this is the largest value, that's for sure. So your choice on the Laplace value should be large plant. And now we need to find EVPI, or to find EVPI, what you need to do is you also need to calculate EMB. And we find, if you do research and you found that the probability corresponding to low market is 0.3, for moderate market is 0.5, and for high market is 0.2. And you apply that to the situation and calculate EMB, meaning 0.3 times 10,000 plus 0.5 times 10,000 plus 0.2 times 10,000, it should be $10,000. And for that, the second option, medium plant, do the same, 0.3 times 7,000, 0.5 times 12,000, 0.2 times 12,000, then you will get EMB for medium plant, and the same for larger plant. And what do you get here? 10,000, 10,500, and 3,000. And your choice will be, the best of them is $10,500. That will be your choice. So now you have maximum EMB, and to find the expected value of perfect information, now you need to find the expected value with perfect information. Expected value of perfect information is that if you know that the market is going to turn out to be low, what are you going to do? And you know that you are going to open small plant because that is the best option, right? So 10,000 plus 0.3 is low market condition. And if the market is going to be moderate, we see 12,000 is the biggest one. So we choose that and then multiply by 0.5. And if the market is going to be very good market, then 16,000 is the value that you want to choose. So 16,000 times 0.2 will be your choice. And if you calculate that, what happens? So we find that EVPI is actually 12.2. So if you calculate that, 12.2, and we know that EMB is 10.5. We already calculated that. So it's 1.7 or $1,700 is the expected value of perfect information, EVPI. So you are going to invest about $1,700 of the money to do more research about the market circumstances. Okay, so that's what we learned so far. In this lecture, we learned various methods to find the values for different options. Max represent optimistic view, whereas max-min a pessimistic view, and Laplace an average view or rational view. EMB indicates a rational view. EVPI is the value that we can find when perfect information is present. EVPI is EVPI minus EMB, the price that you are willing to pay to get a better information. As we discussed before, it's all about perspective. Depending on the perspective, you can find the different values. If you are a conservative person, then you may go with the max-min. If you are a rational person, you may use EMB. If you are a very positive and optimistic person, you might go with max. And EVPI or EVPI can be critical information to do more research. I hope this lecture helped you to understand how to evaluate